Gold! I love gold! Gold clip that is from Schwab Audio, Schwab Digital. This week's Radium POW plugin of the week. I'm diving right into this plugin for mastering and how to freak it, how I like to use it, and some settings and features with this plugin that make it very, very unique. Let's tap in Radium POW. When you first open up Gold Clip, this is what you get. It's pretty dark and ominous. But let's go through the features. Let's talk really quick about how to use these features. And one of the best features to figure out the features, featuring features. All right, that's enough of that. Just click this question mark here and hover over anything and it will tell you exactly what that thing is. One thing I want to recommend before I go through the features of this plugin is where to put it in the chain that I find it to be the most musical, right before your limiter. So right before your limiter, you want to hit it with that clipping. And the reason being is because with clippers, you're getting compression that has nothing to do with attack and release, right? So you're getting this compression that happens a lot like tape saturation. It has nothing to do with attack or release, and it just compresses right away. It's instantaneous, and it gives that tone and that vibe, and it just sounds good. It sounds musical. And this thing is modeled after some of the most musical gear of all time, i.e. Lavery Gold conversion, right? That's what we're really talking about here. Let's be real. Gold clip. All right. So let's run through the features. First thing you got is a bypass over here. You have a box tone, you have a clipper, and you have the gold. Now, this is kind of made up of three different processes. There's the clipper, there's the gold, and then there's the alchemy. I'm going to explain all of these in this video. And of course, if you get anything out of this video, please just hit that like button, right? Give it a little share, add a comment, add a question, whatever you got. But I'd really appreciate it. It means a lot to the channel. Helps everybody out. First thing you got is the box tone. Box tone is going to give you a classic or a modern, and as you can see, it applies a high frequency contour and low pass filter to the wet signal. And if you hover over with the question mark on, you're going to see what everything does, which is awesome. Next up, you got the clipper. The clipper is a huge part of, obviously, Gold Clip, hence the title. Style of clipping applied at the clip ceiling, all right? And then here's this little button that I didn't notice at first. It's this guy. It's a low pass filter applied to the clipper. Basically saying, hey, all that low stuff, don't hit the clipper. So you're just clipping the low mids, and highs. And then the next thing you got is the gold. The gold is a type of nonlinear gain used for gold processing. And if you click through these, you're going to see different styles. So you have a hard clipper, you have a classic, and you have a modern. Now, the modern is a very soft knee, as you can see from the curve. The hard is a hard knee. Surprise, surprise. And the classic is a medium knee, kind of right in the middle. I find myself a lot of the times going with either modern or classic. But I'm going to show you these processes and how they change everything, and also what these do with the gold gain over here, because everything works with the gold. It works with this knob right here. All right, but let's go through the rest of this. Modern, classic, modern, classic, modern. That's all you get. You just get modern and classic. Or you can actually bypass all of this, or you can bypass individually any of these. So say I don't want clipping, but I do want that gold nonlinear gain used for the gold processing, and I want to turn up the processing on the gold. Okay, so there's two different things. All right, so let's turn it on classic and let's go to modern on the gold setting. Now, if I'm on modern with the gold setting, I have 2.5 dB of gain right here that I'm pushing into. So this is the amount of nonlinear gain used for gold processing. If I go to classic, you're going to get 6 dB of gain, which is a lot. That's a lot of gain. And you're going to get a lot of perceived loudness. And a big thing that helps me kind of push into this and understand what's going on is you have these LUFS measurements at the input here, and it'll display that, and you can reset it by just clicking it. Or you have the output LUFS as well, where you can read what's happening on the output after you've processed, which is really cool. But for now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to modern, and I'm going to take this all the way up 2.5 dB. Next thing that we're going to get into, really, really important, this button right here is unity. This is basically saying keep it at unity. Don't add that gain. Just let me hear it at unity. So it's like a automatic makeup gain, right? So you're not tricking yourself into louder is better. So you can turn that on, you can tweak these processes, and then you can turn it off and you get the extra gain, right? So you're not tricking yourself. Oh, it just sounds better because it's louder. All right, so unity is a good way to dial things in. And you can see nulls the gain applied by gold processing so that perceived loudness is maintained and peaks are reduced. So we're getting the perceived loudness of the processing, the harmonics and the pushing of the clipping and the gold processing, but we're not getting just just loudness, right? From the dBs that you're gaining up. 2.5 here. And again, if you go to classic, 6 dB. All right, put it at unity. You're only going to hear the processing, none of the gain applied. I know I'm beating this over the head, but please understand what that means and what that's doing. It's very, very important to dialing this thing in. Now the ceiling here, this is really important as well. This is the level that clipping takes place. So you can have it clip at 0.0 dB, or you can have it clip at negative 2.7 dB. I would say you want to set these ceilings and you want to clip harder at a ceiling, and you want that clip to really happen when maybe you're on a drum mix bus, or you're trying to clip some vocals for that distortion and harmonic effect. Some color, you're looking for the distortion. You really want it to be distorted, okay? But this is on the master bus. I'm going to keep the clipping right at 0. I might, just for safety, 0.1, right? Little safety net, fun stuff. And then a last thing, and very important, this is actually a really, really cool feature, and this is what makes Gold Clip unique, in my opinion, is the Alchemy knob, okay? Now the Alchemy, just to explain it directly from the Gold Clip Schwab themselves, it reshapes the ascent and descent of peak signals. Mid and high frequencies are reduced as the signal approaches the clip point, okay? What does that mean? I don't know. So we're clipping, we're pushing everything into this, right? And then we're going, I don't really like it because now it's starting to distort the 2K area, and it's sounding really distorted and crunchy, and it's also distorting my top end and stuff, right? So what this does, Alchemy, turn it up, and it'll take down, it'll shelf at 2K, it'll shelf that down so that all that mid and all that low end and sub is hitting the clipper, but the high end is taken down, so it's not hitting it as hard, which is really awesome, because then you get this really beautiful, warm, nice pushed mid-range and low end, but you don't have that at the top, that top sizzle clipping, right? So that's what the Alchemy does, and it's really awesome when you start to hit this really hard with gain on the clip. And then you have another thing that's really cool, is this is a true parallel fader here. So meaning you have a wet and a dry, and as you link these, you can go, okay, I actually just want to do 50% wet, 50% dry, and parallel in the clipping and the effect of the gold and the Alchemy and all that stuff, right? And then you get this really new kind of tone shaping, but also let the original signal pass through. So very, very cool. And then the last thing, you can mute either of these, and you can also hear the delta. So the delta is the difference between the input and output, obviously, right? Let's actually hear this thing in action, right? So I'm going to turn this all the way down on the Gold Clip. I'm going to go to the modern setting, and let's listen to the chorus of my new song, Fallout. Let's just check it out. Is this how it ends when the world falls out? Will we feel it all the same? Will we feel it all the same? Or will we keep on dancing when the world falls out? Will we feel it all the same? Will we feel it all the same? Or will we keep on dancing? All right, so things to pay attention to, because I think that's it's very subtle to some people, and you might be like, I didn't hear any difference, right? Okay, I get it. But remember, we have unity on, okay? So I'm going to turn the unity off, and you're going to hear the gain. What you should be hearing is a nice harmonic distortion that's happening, and we'll listen to just the delta so you can really hear that, okay? So this is the difference between wet and dry, and we're going to keep it on unity, so we're not changing the gain. Let's listen. And again, the Alchemy is taking down, it's shelving down 2K and above 1 dB. All right, before it hits the processing. That's the idea of the Alchemy, so that we're not clipping out or we're not distorting harmonically that top as much. All right, so let's hear just the delta. This is just the wet. So you can hear all that harmonic that it's adding to it, just a bunch of harmonics that sound really nice and crispy. And again, if we start to mess with the Alchemy, we can take that down. So let's go back to delta, and let's take unity off. So we're gonna get 2.5 dB of gain here. So So there you go. That's like a nice color. I think that's just beautiful. It's very magic. A big thing that happens for me when I'm going to take the delta off and we're going to listen to this all through. Listen to the low end and listen to how the glue happens. It basically brings up this low end and it brings up the punch and it pushes it forward. And all of a sudden it all congeals. And I love that part of this plugin. Just listen to the low end. Pay attention to the bass and the kick drum.
This how it ends when the world falls out. Will we feel it all the same? Will we feel it all the same? Or will we keep on dancing? When the world falls out, will we feel it all the same? Will we feel it all the same? Or will we keep on dancing?
Right, so a really nice push, nice glue, tighten up the low end, bring it up, right? So it starts to meet the level of the highs and the mids, which I love. Now let's just try a couple things here. I want to first give you a little bit of the box tone. I think this is cool if you want more of like a kind of tape rolled off kind of vibe, and use the Alchemy as well with this if you want that, hey, I just ran this through tape. Like that's what that starts to sound like, really heavy to me. And then turn it to the classic mode here. And then you might want to go hard on the clipper. And then you're going to get a nice tape saturation here. And this is 6 dB of gold, right? So we get 6 dB here. This is insane. So this is really like pushing tape. Now listen to what happens as we bypass this in and out. I'm going to keep this on unity. So we're not changing the gain. It's just the perceived loudness. And you're just hearing the tones of the clipper, the box tone, the gold, and the Alchemy, okay? All working together.
This how it ends when the world falls out. Will we feel it all the same? Will we feel it all the same? Or will we keep on dancing? When the world falls out, will we feel it all the same? Will we feel it all the same? Or will we keep on dancing?
Just absolutely magical for getting that tone, that warm, fat, full harmonic distortion, pushing it forward. It just sounds so musical to me and so rich. It's like a rich harmonic that's just beautiful. And I'm not going to go through everything and demo everything because that would bore you guys to death in this video, but I ran through everything on this. If I missed anything, let me know in the comments. Try this out. Give this a demo. It is not a cheap plugin, and I would say that if you really want to get into professional mastering, this is going to be a great tool to have in your arsenal. It just feels good. It makes everything feel more like a record. All right, that's it. That's the whole game. That's everything I got for you guys today. So if you liked the video, please share it. All right, check it out, Schwab Digital, Gold Clip. I'll leave a link in the description. All right, this is not an affiliate link. I'm not affiliated with these guys at all. So if you guys want it, go get it. It does not support the channel in any sense. If you want to support the channel, drop some love, share the video, right? Go to the other videos that you get game from on the Radium Records channel and show love. Till next time, peace out, guys.